Hi everyone, welcome back to Cody's Lab. So this plant right here is GumWeed. The plant has a very sticky sap which is high in oils. This helps it preserve moisture and so it can grow in desert conditions. What's more is it seems to prefer barren soils and my bees love it. Let's see if we can put this to use, shall we? Well, let's just start cutting it up into pieces small enough to fit inside of my glassware. So here's the vessel I'm going to be filling with the GumWeed. 547 grams empty. You write that on here. Now I'm just going to stuff this full. And we'll weigh it again to see how much weight in flour we have. Okay, so I got the flask cleaned up, set on the scale. See how much is in there. So that's 1157 subtract by the 547 tare weight is 610 grams of the GumWeed. There's my hot plate. You can see I've got the flask sitting on top of it. So now I need to add in some water, just enough to cover the bottom so as to produce steam, because what I'm going to be doing is a steam distillation on this. It's basically the same thing you would do to extract essential oils, because I guess that's exactly what we're doing here. So now it's time for the Clevenger apparatus. I'm probably saying that wrong, but here it is. I'll put a link down in the description of a video that Nerd Rage did on these. In fact, that's where I found out about this. And let's just stick it on here and use it. The idea is the steam goes up in here, goes up into a condenser, and the liquid drips down into this. And the heavier water will get siphoned off, and the lighter oil will collect. And the water, of course, will get reused multiple times. Now the oil should accumulate right there. I should just be able to plug this in. You can see the water going through. Alright, that's it. Just turn this on and start the heating. Smells like flowers. Yeah, it is indeed functioning. See, the water's dripping down and the excess gets siphoned off, but the oil is staying behind. So there's a little bit of oil being captured right now. Ah, awesome. So it's working. I think this is done. The last few times I've checked on it, it doesn't look like there's any more oil. You can see it collected a little bit. I'm kind of disappointed that it wasn't more. But this really isn't that big of a sample if you think about it. And also, this isn't a very long condensation column, so it might have just boiled off into the air. But let's turn it off and let it cool. So everything's cooled off, the oil is settled. Let's pull off the water now. Okay. I've got a little glass bottle to put the actual oil in. There we go. There's our oil. Looks like maybe a milliliter or so. So here we are. I've labeled it GumWeed oil. You can see there. And I measured it out to about 1.3 milliliters. So 600 something grams, 1.3 milliliters. So that comes out to about 0.2% by weight oil. At least what I was able to extract here. Also, it was the wet weight of the plant. It does smell like GumWeed. It's not nearly as strong as like the actual flower though. It's a lot weaker than I thought it would be. You'd think it would be stronger because this is the concentrated essence of the plant, but apparently the oil doesn't really contribute to the smell of the plant very much. It kind of smells almost a little bit like kerosene. So let's taste it. here. So, kind of sunflowery, but pretty bitter. Okay, really bitter. So, I don't think this will be good for. I don't think this will be good for like adding to soaps or perfume anytime soon. But let's go see if it burns. All right, you can see I've got a spoon set up there. I'm just gonna drizzle some of the oil out onto it. Alright, and I'm just gonna blast it with a blowtorch real quick. Yeah, it burns alright. Oh, not bad. I bet you could use this as a fuel. Oh, that's pretty good. It burns. So it is an oil, but it is quite a bit lighter than, say, diesel. So it's kind of like a, from what I can see, it's kind of like a mix between diesel and gasoline. So it's not quite as volatile as gasoline, but it's better than diesel. So it does burn. About like jet fuel too. And I was able to make that from some plants that grow in our backyard. Yeah, I was thinking maybe you could have acres and acres of this stuff growing. You'd never have to water it. Just disturb the ground and throw down seed every now and then. Put it in bales, big steam distillation systems. Take off the oil, and then the plant matter left over, just put that out in the sun for it to dry out, and then use that as fuel to run your boilers to produce the steam. And I think that on a larger scale you could extract quite a bit more oil out of this plant. This is really just a proof of concept. So actually, last minute update, one of my patrons actually sent me an article showing that turns out the military was already looking into using GumWeed as a potential source of fuel for their planes. Because of course I wouldn't be the first person to think of it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.